It's the country's #1 RVing radio show, sponsored by RVTravel.com, with your host, Alan Warren, the RV Wingman.
All right, this is the After the Show, the RV Show USA. We're streaming worldwide on social media, all across our YouTube channel, more than 50 Facebook group pages. This is the most listened to, the most watched, the most talked about show on RVing because, well, we're the only show to tell you the good, the sometimes not so good, and the occasional downright ugly parts of the RV lifestyle. I am Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. We invite you to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you are on Facebook, type in the search bar, The RV Show USA, and give us a like. All right, the After the Show, you know, it's a lot more relaxed than the radio show is. If you've not caught the radio part of the RV Show USA, we always begin at 7 p.m. Central Time with the radio portion of the show. And we record it on Wednesdays, and then the show that we do on Wednesdays actually plays on our station affiliates on Saturdays and Sundays. All right, we have a special lady joining me today. To say that she is an RVing enthusiast would be like saying, I don't know, Tom Brady's into football. Maybe you don't like Tom Brady. I like him. But you will be a fan of the lady that we're about to bring up. She is, like I said, more than an RVing enthusiast. She is a camper who is so passionate about what camping and RVing can do for women that she actually started a group several years ago that is just for women who enjoy camping and want to learn more about camping. And she's a delight to know. Whether you're a female who'd love to learn how to RV, or you're a male, you want your wife or girlfriend to learn how to camp like a girl, well, stay tuned. We got just the girl for you. How's Janine Pettit today?
I'm so good. How are you?
Well, good. Well, yeah, I know that you were here in Texas at our campground. Have you been cold up there, Janine?
Oh, just a little. We really enjoyed that night the other night where the sleeting rain was hitting the RV all night.
You know, in 5 years of us owning that campground, I think that's probably about the worst night of weather. The wind, it was blowing sideways, and it was just horrible. And I know the folks who are listening to the show up north are just laughing. Oh, they don't know what cold is. But for us sissies down south, I'm telling you, boys and girls, it was plenty cold. And I'll bet you and Kate Dunbar were freezing, weren't you?
Well, you know what? Honestly, we are hunkered down in Kate's Airstream. This thing didn't budge an inch. This is one hell of a nice RV.
You know what? I know it is. If it's an Airstream, it's got to be a nice one. So anyway, I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Tell everybody what you're doing here in Texas right now.
I got all kinds of stuff going on here. So I'm going to be in Texas for a little over 2 weeks. I came down here last week, and we held our first annual Camp in Camper College at the National RV Training Academy in Athens, Texas. So that was our first 3-day workshop. We had 16 hours of classroom time, and then we got outside and we did hands-on hitching and unhitching, and then all the women who have never towed before got to tow around the campground.
So how did this come about, Janine? Because I know that education, you've been involved at dealers that you work with around the country, educating people, especially women. You know, I love how you say you turn women into girls. I just think that's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, that's what we do. We just go back and we just, you know, that feeling you had when you were a little girl at camp and there's so much freedom in it? Well, we want women to enjoy the RV lifestyle, and we understand that not every woman out there has someone, even another woman, to teach them how to do it. We also understand that it's been perceived at times to be kind of be a man's world, towing and hitching and all of that stuff. And so we want women to know that no matter what your situation is in life, if you're single, if you're married, but you're married to a couch potato with no interest in camping, if you're widowed, if you don't have anyone in your world that's going to help you with this, we'll help you. We are going to help women get on the road safely, and our camper colleges are all about gaining that knowledge, because knowledge is power, but it's also confidence. So once you have learned all this and you're behind the wheel, it's not so much a white knuckle. You're like, oh, I know what that is. I know why the bell is going off. I know why that light isn't turning off. You learn all about it.
I think that I also hear from women that attend these, you know, your camper college or listen to your podcast. They become not just more capable and competent campers, but I think that that confidence helps go into other areas of their life. I think that they become more effective. They're better problem solvers at things. They're more willing to jump in and learn things that may have been intimidating. You know, an RV can be intimidating if you don't know anything about it, but if you have somebody to help you that doesn't yell at you, I think
Absolutely, Alan. It's like when I learned. I was on the golf team in high school, and then I kind of quit golfing because I became intimidated by it. But then when I started golfing again in my 30s, we just went with women. We didn't tee off till 10 or 11 o'clock when the men had already gone through. And I feel like this with Girl Camper, with the Camp and Camper College. We did have one man come because it was open to anybody, and he wanted to be able to better help his wife. And so he came with her to Camper College so they could learn together. But I've seen it happen over and over again when women learn something like this and they get a handle on it and they get themselves to their first camp out, they towed there by themselves. That level of pride and that level of accomplishment that they feel, it naturally goes over into other areas of their lives. And then they feel like, you know what? Now I'm going to tackle something else. You just can't help but take that into you.
How would you describe the level of experience that most of the women brought with them to your camper college? Were they all newbies? Yeah. Were they all over the board, or?
It was about split right down the middle. We had some women there who don't even own a camper yet. They are in the learning stages. They're getting a handle on it, and they just are gathering information right now. And then there are women who have owned their campers or their motorhomes, their RVs for a year or two, and they're like, still don't quite understand what that funny noise is they always hear. And so they're there to learn more about operating the RV, but also about maintaining their RV. So we had a situation here the other night, and we learned there at the training camp, 80% of the things that go wrong in your trailer that you might bring it to an RV dealer to fix can be fixed yourself. You can troubleshoot that and fix it yourself. And so that just happened here the other night. It got really cold, and we turned on the heat in Kate's Airstream, and it didn't go on. It was blowing cool air. And we're like, wait a minute. And so we backed it up. Okay, it's this. Okay, first thing we want to check is the propane. We went out there, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Okay, tanks are open. Came back in. It's not going on. We went through our checklist, and then Kate said, you know what? Sometimes my husband disconnects the tanks completely, not just turns them off. So she went out there, and sure enough, they weren't tight. So she tightened those up, fired it up. About a half an hour later, we plugged something in, and the plug wasn't working. We didn't have any electric. So I said, we blew a breaker when we had our space heater on and plugged in the coffee pot. We were drawing too many amps on that plug. Got down on our hands and knees. We opened that up. We found the breaker. We switched it on. So it's this kind of stuff that you just want to learn. Like, can I run my air conditioner and my blow dryer and my coffee pot all at once? Well, it depends.
You know, and you can self-teach. I mean, you can teach yourself, but why? I mean, I say generally, the time we have to RV, we don't want to spend it while we're trying to learn how to RV. We want to enjoy our RV. So go to a camper college, spend time with somebody that can help you learn quickly and not rush too much stuff at you, but where you can absorb it. And we had, I posted on social media that you were going to be on the show, and I don't want to embarrass you, but I'm going to play a phone call or two of some things that people had to say that were some recent attendees. Shemaya, can you go ahead and play the first call?
Oh, my goodness.
Go ahead. I can't hear it, Shemaya.
Hi, Janine. This is Jolynn Black. I'm calling to thank you for a wonderful weekend where I got to make new friends, but mainly I got to learn more about my RV and things that would normally make me scared or keep me from having a good time, but I now know how to fix it. I even think I understand AC and DC electricity and that my fuse box goes to the battery and my breakers go to the electric pole outside the RV. I can't believe I can say this with a straight face, but I think I'm going to call my electrician and see if I can impress him. Thanks for everything, Janine. It's been a wonderful weekend with you. Bye-bye.
How was that? Wasn't that nice?
Oh my gosh, JoLynn, she has such a great story. You know, JoLynn is single, and she had friends who RV'd. She never grew up in the RV world. She never owned an RV, but she had friends who were doing it, and she thought, you know, that looked fun. So she was a podcast listener. She thought she wanted a Class C motorhome. So I always advise people to rent that RV that you think you might want to buy, and she did that. And she was about 3 days into a 7 or 8 day trip in that rented Class C, and she said, no, this is not for me. I don't like the way this feels or works for her, what she wanted it for, and she ended up buying a Class A.
And that is so smart. I mean, and a lot of people say, oh, don't rent them because it costs too much money. What would it have cost her to buy something and learn it was a mistake? That's costing money.
And then, lose thousands and thousands of dollars. So she spent $700 or $800 to rent it for a week, figured out right away for the way she RVs and lives, that floor plan wasn't going to work for her.
All right, we've got another call. Go ahead and hit one, Jemiah. Take your pick.
Hi, Janine. I'll try and keep this short. Just wanted to tell you how much so many of us appreciated having the Camper College in a 3-day format. I almost talked myself out of it. I was 12 hours away, and I went by myself, but I had the best time learning so much stuff. And I think what I would have to say I learned most of was, well, in addition to not being afraid of propane, which is mainly why I went, but to understand all the electrical, how to fix stuff myself. And even my husband, who has a 4-year mechanical engineering degree, he looked at my notes and looked at my screenshots and my handouts, and he was impressed. If anybody is, I just want to say this last thing, but if anybody is thinking about going, even those who don't have a trailer, this is really, really good. It was just wonderful. The fellowship, new friends, everybody was so friendly. The staff there couldn't have helped everybody any more than what they did, but it was great. From 12 volts to 120 to taking care of our batteries to learning how to fix things like fuses and breakers, and it was one of those things where I'm really glad I didn't talk myself out of it. I just hope anyone that's on the fence or thinking about going won't let themselves be talked out of it, because it really was good. So thank you for all you do.
I love that, Janine. You know, you've got people that just adore you, and I can see why.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know if I deserve that praise. The praise really goes to the staff at the National RV Training Academy in Athens. They did a spectacular job. Terry Cooper taught most of the classes. And, you know, I never look at where people come from. I looked at the registrations, but it wasn't until I got there that I realized we had women fly in from Colorado, California, Connecticut, New York. People came far and wide to attend this, and they stayed in the rented cabins. We had one woman who came down from Indiana. She rented a little R-Pod from Outdoorsy, and they delivered it and then came and picked it up. So I can't say enough about Stephanie and Todd Henson and the Coopers, who run the National RV Training Academy. What a spectacular venue to have this in. Their classrooms were big and bright and beautiful. They have a catwalk that all the students stand on and look on the roof of the RV so we could point things out. Their facility is top-notch.
And it's new. It's just beautiful. It is spectacular.
Brand
they do
new.
a terrific job. Now, and I want to say something. You had mentioned a few minutes ago about your podcast. Folks, Janine has the Girl Camper podcast. It's fabulous, but nothing is a substitute for that hands-on, I think, Janine. You can listen.
No, it isn't.
But attending.
Right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. You know where I'm going with this. I mean,
well, you know what? So all I can do on the podcast is try to convey to people to take this seriously, to figure out what your gross vehicle weight rating is, and make sure you're matching your tow vehicle to your trailer. Make sure you're taking care of your tires. I have guests like Mark Polk from RV Education 101. He's a regular on the show. Now, we give them the information. We point them in the direction of where to get more information. Mark and Todd and Stephanie at NRVA, they produce incredible content to help those people. But really, you are absolutely right, Ellen. Getting out there, hands-on. So I got to tell you this one thing because I think it's so important.
Mm-hmm.
When I poll people, what stops you from becoming a girl camper? They have an incredible fear of towing. You know, they're afraid that the camper is going to pop off the ball. But when you're standing there and you hitch these two up and they lower that down and they feel that ball click. I mean, they're feeling, you know, that, it's on,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Put that pin down, put that safety in, put those chains on, put that weight distribution hitch or anti-sway bar. Now, roll it back up. Try to get it off the ball. And when you see that tow vehicle being pulled up, you're actually pulling up the tow vehicle, you know that's not coming off.
And you can't learn that on a podcast. You can listen to it, but it's just
no,
not the
when
same.
you see it, then you're like, okay, take that off my list of what I have to worry about.
All right, Janine, we got another call. Go ahead and play one. Hit it, Shemaya.
Hey, Janine, this is Jill. I just wanted to let you know how much I enjoyed the Camper College this week. It was so great, and I just loved the facility. I loved all the content. It was the perfect way for a newbie to get started out, and even someone like me who's been towing an RV for 2 or 3 years learned lots of things. So I just loved it, and I can't wait for the Camper College 2.0, where we're going to go deeper into subjects like solar and towing and doing our own maintenance. I can't wait. Thanks, Janine.
I love it. You know, once again, folks, I posted that Janine was going to be a guest here on the show and asked people that if they had a comment to go ahead and post it, or better yet, call our voicemail, leave a voicemail message. We were flooded. Janine, everybody, everybody. And you can hear the confidence. Play another call. And I promise this will be the last one. Then I want to ask you about Camper College 2.0. So go ahead.
Hi, my name is Denise Ford, and I recently attended the Camper College last week with her in Athens, Texas, and I have to say it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I came home feeling more confident in owning and using my camper than I could have ever imagined I would, and I just thought it was the best thing ever. It was great people, and not only the people who taught the classes, but the people who I met, the other camper girls along the way, and it was amazing information that makes me not scared to check fuses or breakers or purple monkeys, which if you took the class, you'll understand what those are, and more confident in trying to tow myself if something were to happen to my husband. You know, I didn't have a lot of confidence getting behind the wheel, and I would get so nervous that I'd get mad at my husband, and the instructors were very patient with us and let us actually drive their own trailers and trucks around the campground and had us backing in like pros before the end of the day. And I cannot thank them enough for putting on this class. I cannot thank Janine enough for coordinating it. And it was a wonderful experience that I think everyone, not just women, but everyone, if you're new to taking up RVing or getting a travel trailer or towing or learning about the different things that run these things, should know. I mean, I learned things I was doing wrong. I had no idea. Dangerous things like, hooking in without an EMS, and, I had a surge protector, so I assumed I was okay, and, could cause thousands of dollars in damage. And so now I have a new EMS, and I don't run with my propane on when driving, even though I want my fridge cold, and I'm a lot safer, and I feel a lot more confident. And I wanted to thank Janine for putting on the Camper College, and I'll probably go again just as a refresher. So thank you so much again, Janine. You were wonderful. You were an amazing woman, and thank you for what you do.
Well, you've got a lot of fans out there, young lady, a lot of fans.
I am very humbled by these incredible women, and I have to tell you that it's a great way to face your fear. And when you have, you have good people behind you, it gives you a confidence. So what a great group of women we had. There were about 30 people there, which was a nice crowd, and we're going to do it again. So
I was going to ask, what's the future look like for the girl camper colleges?
The future is bright. The future is bright. We have partnered with National RV Training Academy in Athens, and they are the people that train RV inspectors. Like if your caller, if the guy who wrote you the letter earlier this week had an RV inspection before he purchased the 5-year-old barely used trailer.
Amen.
You spend $400 or $500 that and save yourself thousands. So this is the training we're getting from the people who train these RV inspectors. So we have partnered with Stephanie and Todd and the Coopers, and we are building a curriculum, Girl Camper Basic Training, and then Girl Camper 2.0, but we're also going to be doing continuing education. So we are going to be hosting these camper colleges all over the country. We're actually going to be going, instead of RV dealerships as we had been doing, which is only 2 or 3 hours and it's just scratching the surface, we are going to be hosting them at campgrounds, and we're going to be flying in our instructors from NRVIA. So we're super excited about it.
I just love it. Talk to me about the industry, Janine. As the RV industry, it seems to me, I don't know for sure, but it seems to me that the industry is realizing they need to do a better job of educating us, the RVer out there. And are they supportive of your camper college?
Oh, always. I cannot say enough about the constant support I get from manufacturing, from Go RVing itself, from the marketing arm of the RV industry. They want people to be safe on the road. They want people to know how to best use and operate their RVs. I have had nothing but great support.
Well, I love to hear that because, they've sold, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of these units, and many of the people that buy them, they just don't know. It's not difficult, but they do need to learn. I think that the education is so critically important. That's why we've got a little education push going on, with our show sponsors and so forth. So, hey, tell me about this.
Think about this, Alan.
Go ahead.
Just to continue on that thought for a minute, I got a new car about a year ago, and the guy at the dealer came out. He showed me how to program my phone and my radio. It took me another 3 or 4 months to figure out that whole dashboard and everything that's going on it. So you come to an RV dealership and you have a 2 or 3 hour walkthrough when you pick up your RV. That is like drinking water out of a fire hose. Everything's coming at you so fast. As the consumer, it's on you to learn all that you can about that. And most manufacturers have YouTube channels. There's so much on YouTube out there. There's all kinds of Facebook groups for owners. There's all kinds of resources for learning all you can about the RV that you bought.
But there's still nothing like that face-to-face contact like you just completed. Yeah. I know we're going to talk about your website, the podcast here in a few minutes, but real quickly, you've got the coolest little raffle, not a little raffle, a big raffle going on for a beautiful little travel trailer called the R-Pod. Tell everybody about that for a minute or two, if you would, please, because I think it's a great deal.
It is. And, I can't thank our friends at Forest River enough. So Forest River donated a 2020 R-Pod 196. So this is the first year they have redesigned that R-Pod in 11 years. So it's rounded in the front still, but they flattened out the back, which gave it a lot of extra space. So they gave me that 196, and they said, Janine, you can do whatever you want to it. And we took that from what we call factory to fabulous. We decked it all out with removable wallpapers from our friends at Spoonflower, a cool company named Spoonflower that makes wallpaper that goes on super easy, peels on and peels off if you change your mind. And that is going to be available for raffle. The raffle is going off on February 14th, same time we had it last year. And the recipient of those funds is the Hold You Foundation. And Hold You Foundation helps parents with children who are in a health crisis of some kind. So they know that when their child is in the hospital, they want to be with them. So the premise of Hold You is we hold you so you can hold your child. So Hold You does things that most big, it's a little small foundation, most big conglomerate kind of corporate sponsored organizations can't do. They'll pay things like your phone bill, your electric bill. They'll make a car payment. They'll pay your PSE&G bill. They'll keep the heat going for you. They pick up the slack that is created when a parent has to cut their hours or leave their job to take care of a sick child, and I love that.
How much are tickets? How do people get them?
$10. $10.
Wow.
And the tickets are over at girlcamper.com. A little pop-up will come back as soon as you log on. I hope you can get on tonight because we're uploading our new website right now. It should be up there by tomorrow. I was hoping I could tell you all about it tonight, but it's
that's okay. This
Yeah.
podcast will be listened to for many, many months, I'm sure, and it will be up and probably even updated by then again. But I'm excited. You mentioned you've got your kind of a relaunch. You've got a new addition. Tell me about Kate Dunbar and what she's going to be doing with Girl Camper.
Kate Dunbar. I know she's been on the show. If you're a Texan, you know Kate, but if you are a camp cooker, outdoor, if you love cast iron cooking, you may have gotten Kate's book, The Campground Gourmet, Simple and Delicious Food for the Campground and Home. She's a girl camper. I mean, she has her little vintage Shasta. We're here at your beautiful campground. We're enjoying it like crazy. And we've been filming food videos all week here. And Kate just has so much talent, and she's great in front of the camera, too. So she has been cooking. We've been making great things. She has created a whole line of videos and recipes for Girl Camper. And when our new website comes up, you're going to be able to see that. Kate Dunbar is going to have her own little toolbar. She is our official Girl Camper food editor.
Well, I can't wait to get up there and see you guys tomorrow and participate, help where I can, and eat whatever she'll serve me.
And you're going to cook with us, right?
Oh, okay. I'm really good at making a mess. I'm not very good at cleaning up a mess. So listen, we've talked about so many things. I want to thank you for what you do, not just on behalf of women, but for RVing in general. You are a happy, energetic, passionate person who connects with people in such a good way, and getting women and giving them the confidence to go out and do things on their own without having to have their husband with them. Because I know how frustrating it can be. You may love your spouse, and when you're trying to teach them something, it's difficult to be nice. And so when you have a stranger that will teach you, it's a whole lot easier to learn, isn't it?
Well, you've seen that T-shirt that people have, sorry about what I said when we were backing up the camper. Okay. So my husband and I literally haven't had a fight in 10 years, but I am telling you, when it comes to getting that camper, not at home, it's a muscle memory at home. I can get that thing in the driveway in 2 moves. But when you get to the campground, it's a different site. There may be somebody here, a tree there. Oh, my goodness, that's where tensions can get high pretty quick. So, you know what? Sometimes it's best to, take a walk around the block. I'll get it in and call you when I'm done.
All right, listen, we're
have at it.
We're going to wrap this thing up. There's so much more we can talk about. We'll get you back on again soon, but how is the best way for people to connect with you, Janine? And have you got an email list or something, or what can people do to stay in touch?
We would love for people to subscribe at girlcamper.com. We promise not to hit you with all kinds of, daily emails. We never do anything like that. And subscribe over at girlcamper.com. And when we have news to tell, and then, of course, listen to the podcast. It's Girl Camper. It's on iTunes. It's on Stitcher. And if you're not podcast savvy, you can just go over to girlcamper.com and scroll down to the bottom of every weekly post and just hit the little arrow. The media player on your phone or laptop will play it for you.
I love it. You girl campers have fun, and I will see y'all mañana, okay?
See you tomorrow. Safe
right.
travel.
Big hugs, Janine.
Right,
talk to you later.
Take care.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. She is one amazing lady. I'm telling you, she's a fantastic ambassador for all things RVing and camping related. I hope you'll take a few minutes and check out the Girl Camper website. Listen to some of her podcast. You will be impressed. I promise you will. Again, she mentioned it. I'll say it again, girlcamper.com. That's going to wrap it up for this one. I hope that you will add your name to our email list and join us for our live streams. We have a lot of fun, and you'll meet some mighty nice folks like Janine Padad. Go to thervshowusa.com, thervshowusa.com. Click on email list. Until next time, I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman, reminding you, be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave those good manners at home. So long, everybody.
The